Would you like to know how I beat the Patriarch? First, though, we need to understand the mechanics of the fight, or my strategy to beat him is not going to help you. A quick note on his weak points first. These are his chest tentacle, which can only be hit when he is using it to attack, and right arm, which you can hit far more consistently, so aim for that. It's now important we go through his abilities during each phase of the fight and the strategy to use there. He has 4 phases, and whenever his health drops to 42.5%, he will summon Zeds to aid him. When his health drops to 35%, he will cloak and attempt to flee from the team if he still has syringes left. After getting far enough away from the team, he will inject himself with one of his 3 syringes, healing the amount being shown on the screen, depending on the difficulty and the number of them he has left. Once he has healed, Zeds will stop spawning and he will then cloak and sprint back towards the team, moving into the next phase of the fight. It's very important to note here that when he tries to run away, if you're fast enough, you can kill him before he uses his syringe, including trapping him to make his escape impossible. You can use the following abilities in phase 1. Basic melee attacks, along with a clothesline attack. If multiple players are close to him, his sprint ability has a base cooldown of 3 seconds and will allow him to be able to get to you faster. You can cloak to launch surprise attacks. He always sprints whilst cloaked, so can't cloak if sprint is on cooldown. Commandos can spot him for the team whenever he cloaks. His missile volley in phase 1 has a 10-second cooldown where he will ready up his launcher before firing 3 missiles at his target. Move to dodge these or take cover to avoid them. His charge attack has a base cooldown of 14 seconds where he will cloak and rapidly move towards a player before uncloaking to knock them back and deal heavy damage. You can avoid this by moving around obstacles. His minigun attack has a base cooldown of 2.25 seconds where he will be routed to the spot in phase 1 whilst firing. Take cover or go point blank with him to avoid damage. He can also start to fire on the move in later phases depending on the difficulty. In phase 2 and beyond, along with the abilities he has in phase 1, he can perform a certain number of rage attacks only if he detects a player killing one of the Zeds he spawns. He can use his tentacle grab with a base cooldown of 10 seconds, which will pull you towards him if it hits, and is usually followed by a basic melee attack. And finally, he can use his mortar with a base cooldown of 10 seconds, only if there is no ceiling or it's high enough. This attack fires mortar shells high up into the air, with them plunging down towards players whilst also homing in on them. The strategy for the battle is to ideally find a place with a low ceiling to deny him the use of his mortar attack, along with watching for how he enters the fight. When he first catches sight of the team, he will cloak and charge at a random player. When he is visible, the team is to unload on him while keeping out of his melee range, but watch out for him repeatedly cloaking and changing targets, going after players that are isolated or the furthest away from his position. Choose a location with obstacles to block his line of sight, allowing you to easily avoid his missiles and minigun. In the later phases, depending on difficulty, he can move and fire his minigun, so make sure that you can break sight with him multiple times to avoid this attack. Also, watch out for his missile volleys and any mortar attacks he can make if you weren't able to find an area with a low ceiling to fight him within. Follow this strategy, wearing him down over the phases of the battle, or indeed trapping him to end the fight earlier, / killing him before he runs off, and you will emerge victorious. So, you can now deal with the Patriarch, but which perk will you use in the waves leading up to the boss wave? Check out this video for a guide to the sharpshooter. Until next time, goodbye for now.